Hello, everyone. Welcome to Let's Talk About Big Stars. Once a month, me and my best friend Christian Connie, we will meet here to talk about our idea, our knowledge, share our knowledge about the big star. And
Hi,
hi, Christian.
hi everyone. Hi Rod. Nice to be
How are
back.
you? Yeah. So listen, we both recently quite pretty busy, right? And two conferences are together and happening same time. Yeah. So how are you?
Oh, I'm very fine. It's quite sunny here in Germany, and yeah, a lot to do as always. You also have a lot to do, but better to have a lot to do than nothing to do, I think.
I agree. I agree. But I just feel a little bit weird because I noticed that is that angle or something. You look different today. You look like you
Yes.
kind of elegant but chill.
No, it's not elegant chill. I move in my normal position, then you will see
Ah,
what happens.
okay. Oh,
It's the
oh wow.
sun.
There is a light. In the beginning, there is a light. Okay, move back. I don't want you to get sunburned.
It's really sunny today, and in my room,
uh,
you'd see this light.
yeah, I can see.
So I secretly have to sit in this
Okay.
corner.
Now we know. Now we know. I hope you are comfortable like that. All right. Okay. So, Christian, tell us what are we going to talk about today?
We focused on the big star Arcturus in Boötes.
It's so big. It's so huge. And when if you ask me, say, what does that mean? Well, in Chinese astrology world, that really means big, because
Really? Oh, that's
their name is
interesting.
a big horn. Big horn. So it's very interesting. I will talk about it later. Yeah.
So let's start. I can't wait what
Oh,
you have to say about the
okay,
horn.
okay. You're just like, come on, hurry up. We have no time to waste. I don't want to sit under the sun. All right, as usual, today we will beginning with my little bit, astronomy, stargazing, and also the ecliptic degree, and what Vivian represent, and as everything talking about, and of course, my favorite author, Manilius, his words always make me laugh and enjoy the different time, different epoch, how the view change. And then we will switch to Christian Brink. I already learned that he prepared a lot of mythology. That hey, tell me more about that. I enjoyed this mythology because those archetypes are our life, appear in our life, and that maybe is how we see the stars. Especially recently, I heard about that in United States there is a branch of astrology they call themselves archetypal astrology. So I think what's the difference between archetypal astrology and the psychological astrology? I don't know, but anyway, I'm ignorant, but I need to learn what are they talking about. Anyway, then we will switch back to a different culture to see how all around the world see this stuff because we know this is one of the star, one of several few stars that being recognized by the ancient people, our ancestor, by ancient astrologer. What I say is even kind of prehistorical rather than medieval astrology or something. No, lot of prehistorical people has a record about this star in China, in Polynesia, in Babylonian. These stars always have a name and being focused. So it is an important start from so many different angles. So let's see. I think the first thing we want to know is called Arcturus. Well, I have to say I'm not a native English speaker and neither Christian. So every time when we speak something, Christian and I we always just like, am I saying something right? And especially this one, it's just like what or boo 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 what Booties or booties. Anyway, please correct me. Please let me know how to say it. Okay, and then in the constellation booties, and it's beautiful because this constellation is like a little diamond, very beautiful, and it's very bright because the magnitude is minus 0.05 because the magnitude when you get smaller number or negative number, it is usually the bright one. it is usually the bright one. And as most astrologers like to know their eclipse degree or zodiac degree. So at this year, 2023, they are at 24 Libra 34. And then at year 2000 is 24 Libra 14. And 1980 is around 23 Libra 58. And around 1960 is around 2341. Because big stars still, well, I think it's precession, so our spring equinox or March equinox move. So there is the degree move like this. And so you can see this is the Arcturus, and there is a tiny dog next to it, and you look away toward to something else. That's it. Here, we have a little bit of idea about Arcturus. Well, Arcturus is, you can see on the both side, either side, one side there is Ursa Major, the big bear. So in the mythology, later Christian will tell you their relationship. And then also Arcturus is right on the top of the Virgo. Christian will also tracing that story. So it's quite interesting. That's how I found. Somehow I do find the Greek Roman mythology, the big function of it is introduce the sky for us, or at least for me, is the story. Those characters in the story are usually the constellation grouped together. They are nearby, they are neighbor. So they make a story to help us to remember them. And okay, so let's come to the holy early astrologer think about this star. Well, usually they think the Arcturus is a nice one, is a beneficial. So this is what Vivian Robertson say. According to Ptolemy, it is the nature of a Mars and Jupiter. Okay, well, I would say if you are modern psychological astrologer, archetype astrologer, you can just use the idea, the so-called keywords, or image, or character, about the Mars and Jupiter to form the sentence to explain this star Arcturus if you want. Or reading what Vivian Robertson said, it gives richness, it gives rich, honors, high renown, or self-determination, and the prosperity by navigation and the voyage. Wow, who doesn't like this? If I can traveling and get money, I really want this star on my chart. And then everything talking about the bear leader guardian. So there's a bear, there's a leader, and there's a guardian. So he did at least two jobs. One is a leader and one is a guardian. Okay. It makes people like is a Mars Jupiter type and the justice through the power. I like this one. Remember this. It's a very different interpretation. Justice through power. Okay. It's also talking about there is the enterprising spirit here and for the ruling, for to rule, and indicated lasting success is promised if further good aspects are present. Well, okay, fair enough. Now come to my favorite author, Marcus Manilius, because I always enjoy the different view about 2,000 years ago. He said, "True is the name given to Bautis." Okay, so there is the relationship with the true or truth. He moved forward in manners such like a leader of team of a board. That means it's a the herdman, or manage the cow bull herd. So it's like a shepherd or something, who control, and there is a dog help him. Well, for those born under the influence of Arcturus, well, let me cut it short. They are like a treasure. They are like the treasure in the organization, or treasure, or in UK is chancellor for the country, who control the finance, who guard the finance. Okay, sounds like a very nice one, because they are looking for look after finance for country, for people, for king or queen, and there is responsible for guardianship of the people. Of course, If he can guardian the herd, well, in the sky, then he presented the guardian of the people. There's no problem. So I want to share something very quickly before I switch to Christian. In the summertime and the springtime, summertime and springtime is the best time to see Arcturus in the North Hemisphere. So what we can do is you first find the plow, and from the handle of a plow or tail of the big bear, mama bear, the two stars, Mizar and Altai. You find these two stars, you form a line and go across the sky. Depending on where are you, depending on where are you. If you are in North Hemisphere, so the north sky is expanded. So you have to cross all the part of the sky to another side of the sky to find Arcturus. It's very bright, but it's still, you draw a line from the handle of cloud. But if you are in the area near the equator or the tropical area, like when I back to Taiwan, I just say, why the distance shrink? I said, oh yes, we just have this big sky, but in the tropical area, you have squeezing more constellation in. So the bear and the Arcturus, the booties are shrink. The constellation was getting smaller. But in North Hemisphere, we only have that much constellation, so they spread out largely. And I also want to share, this is not the only photo I'm going to share to you, but this is Arcturus. Welcome to our program. And I usually use it to align my camera and the telescope. Also, I usually use it to focus. So I have this photo. Now I'm going to send it to Christian.
Share my slides, and then we can start. Yeah, as Rod said, Arcturus is of course in the constellation Bootes and the Plowman, and it is the brightest star in the northern sky and the fourth brightest star in the night sky. And only Sirius and Canopus are bright. However, both stars belong to the southern sky. Arcturus' diameter is 25 times larger than that of our sun, and together with Spica and Regulus, it forms the so-called spring triangle. A few decades ago, Arcturus was thought to be 40 light years away due to measurement errors. And this led to the World Fair of 1933 in Chicago being opened with its light. So the light of Arcturus was bundled through a telescope and directed onto a photocell, which then switched on the festival lightning.
Sounds interesting.
And Arcturus was chosen because another World Fair had ended in Chicago in 1893, so exactly 40 years earlier. The idea was that the light that left Arcturus in 1893 hit the photocell 40 years later in 1933, and symbolically this would have established a continuity between the two exhibitions.
Oh, so poetic.
Yeah, and I think it fits to the symbolism of Arcturus. It's a nice anecdote that's really show its meaning on different levels. The World Trade Fair.
Yeah.
So all the new inventions were shown there. Yeah, but as I said before, the only problem was that it later turned out that the light from Arcturus took just 36.7 years. So yeah, but a nice idea anyway.
Anyway, yes.
Hyginus describes in De Astronomica 3 myths about Bootes, and the first one is about Arcus. And Arcus was a son born from Zeus' rape of the nymph Callisto. And Hera heard of her husband's betrayal, and she transformed Callisto into a bear. and Zeus gave the child to Lycaon, the king of the Akkadians. Lycaon doubted the omnipotence of the gods and put Zeus to the test. And he killed Arcturus and presented him Zeus for dinner. And Zeus noticed this immediately and turned Lycaon into a wolf and killed all his sons with thunderbolts and brought Arcturus back to life.
Mm.
And as a young man, Arcturus came across a she-bear while hunting, and this was his charmed mother Callisto. But he did not recognize her and began to hunt her. And Callisto hid in a temple, and to avoid a tragedy, Zeus placed both of them as constellations in the starry sky. So Callisto as a great she-bear, and Arcturus, depending on the version, as Bootes there. But as you said before, Rod, so close to near each other, and probably they invented this myth or put it in this way or linked it to these constellations to explain us the starry sky, maybe.
Mm.
There's another story of Hyginus, another myth he linked with Bootes. Icarius is also Bootes, maybe according to Hyginus, who welcomed Dionysius. And Dionysius, introduced him to wine and the cultivation of grapes. And Icarius drove through Attica with his cart full of wine to advertise it. And when some shepherds became drunk and unconscious, their companions thought they had been poisoned. They murdered him and buried his body under a tree. And his daughter Erigone, together with her dog Maera, found the body, buried her father, and then hanged herself from the tree. And Icarius was placed in heaven, and Erigone is, according to Hyginus, a constellation Virgo, and the dog Maera is Sirius, according to Hyginus. The third myth, according to Hyginus, is the myth about Philomelus. He also is said to be Bootes. Zeus had fallen in love with a mortal young man, Aeson, at a wedding in Crete, and they secretly departed from the feast and made love, and on their return, the earth clinging to her revealed Zeus what had happened. And Aeson was struck dead by Zeus with a thunderbolt, and from that night, twin sons were born.
Oh.
So we have Philomelus and Plutus. See, there is Plutus with an U, not with an O. Plutus is not Pluto, our god
Yeah.
of the world. Pluto was very wealthy, but did not want to share his wealth with his twin brother Philomelus. And out of necessity, Philomelus bought himself to oxen and invented the plow. And he supported himself by plowing his fields and growing crops. And when his mother, Ceres, saw him like this, she was so moved that she placed him in the starry sky as a plowman. So astrologically, according to Bernadette Brady, Arcturus symbolizes the confrontation with the material world, which leads to important changes and innovations. So in order to survive, Philomelus applied his knowledge practically. He took up the fight with the material world, and out of this came the invention of the plow, which was so important, super important for mankind. So an innovative idea, a new paradigm. And Arcturus seems to embody precisely this evolutionary leap from hunter to farmer and the wisdom and vision necessary for that leap. So he symbolizes qualities of progress and concepts such as learning, teaching, and also leadership. Arcturus helps people to move from a lower to a higher level. So it symbolizes a person who shows direction to others. So a person who has the vision, courage, or adventurousness to take the first step into something new. So Arcturus is a groundbreaker, pathfinder, who courageously goes ahead and dares to do something new. With every exploration, he leaves a path, a trail for others to follow. So Arcturus is a kind of a pioneer.
Mm-hmm.
And I scanned through my database and found this guy. Probably some of you might know him. It's Ludwig II of Bavaria. And he had Arcturus on the western horizon at his birth. And he ascended to the throne in 1864 at the age of 18, but he increasingly withdrew from day-to-day affairs of state in favor of extravagant artistic and architectural projects. So he compromised the construction of lavish palaces in Bavaria, and most of you know Neuschwanstein Castle,
Yes.
Cinderella Castle.
Yes. When you said that word, we know him.
And Linderhof Palace and Herrenchiemsee, quite a lot of castle, and this ruined nearly the state of Bavaria. So this is, I think, a good example of this pioneering energy. He is doing it in architecture to concrete his vision. So let's return to Rod. And now, as always, every month, I'm super excited what he has to say. And I'm in the light again, so I move out.
Yeah, thank you. Because I was keep reminding, say, "Oh my God, the sun is on you. Move away. I don't want to see you get sunburned." Okay, here we are. Here we are. So, well, the first as a Christian choose the one example. I also find another example. Well, I want to use the French one, and I think I agree that Benedict Bradley says that is a leader and trying to lead in a new way because like a plowman, the image of the man holding the plow to represent the Buddhist constellation was kind of since the Babylonian time. And also, it is related to leader in the or leading the direction in the other cultures. Then, when I saw that Greta Thunberg has the sun parent with Arcturus, and when the day she was born, the sun was setting, Arcturus sitting together. So I just think with the things she does, it is well, she is not the first girl or first person who say we should protect the world, but she's the one who leads. She's the one who stands up and take the action rather than say, yeah, please don't do that. Or we maybe support ecology, but we didn't shout loud. But she did. So I think it's a very interesting. She take the action, she lead, she make the move, and there's so many young generation showing them. To be honest, I still feel unfair about some of our generation mocking about her because her some her driven force and her dedication to the protect the world. And I just like, why are you mocking her? Why are you guys mocking her? It's so rude and it's so lame. She's trying to make your grandson, grandchildren a better home, and you are mocking her like that. How dare you? That's her words.
Yes.
and
Yes. Yeah.
and I think that's how dare you. That energy is really the Arcturus energy. Well, that's just very very short thing. So go to check your chart if you have parent with Arcturus, or Arcturus on the angle, or even more, you want to use the 24-degree Libra. But don't forget that is aligned together with Spica, interestingly. Okay, so today, the first things I want to share with you is the Polynesian culture. I always love their astrology and astronomy. I only know this bit, a tiny bit about their astrology. But I love every time I listen their story, I just really want to share and want to learn more. For the Polynesian sailor, for the Polynesian explorer, Arcturus is an important start for them. They call it the start of joy. Well, because that it begins in North Hemisphere or near the tropical area, Hawaii. In the summer night, Arcturus is right on the top of the sky. So the Polynesian sailors sailing from, from Tahiti or from Tonga, from Polynesia area, they go north. So they have to follow Arcturus to go to there until they arrive there in the summer when the Arcturus is right on top of the sky. I love their star guiding system. GPS, isn't it? They don't really need a machine or something. They just look at the stars and the guiding themselves. I imagine that in that time, I think European, we are still or Asian, we are still sailing around the coast to coast. That's how we can do. But they use canoe cross the large ocean. That's a very different level. That is a very different level. We do that until maybe something like a 15th century, or after 15th century or 16th century. That how different they did it kind of 2,000 years ago. Anyway, so also when they reach there and they turn the direction, turn to west, and then they will reach the Hawaii. But if they don't follow Arcturus correctly, they will end up in the south part of Hawaii Island. Interesting. This is very interesting and called Star of Joy. I like this name, and I want to, if I have a client to use this, parent or degree, I will remind them this is a star of joy and help you to find a new land, new island, cross the huge ocean to find a new island. Now to come to, I make a slight mistake. I have to apologize. I didn't delete the previous PowerPoint, but it's in Mandarin. So only Chinese people, only people who know the Mandarin know the mistake I made. Okay, well, it's called large horn. And that because in the Chinese astronomy, they divide the constellation near equator and ecliptic into the 28 dimension. And every 7 dimension, they form a part of the sky. They give a magic creature. And this part, we call the east part of the sky or the spring part of the sky. And we dedicated name as azure dragon, a blue dragon. So I usually say, as I will talk about this when I talk about Spica. In I Ching or I Ching, you say, the book of change, the important philosophy and the divination book in ancient China. There's a sentence say, 见龙在田, 利见大人. Translated as, when you see dragon on the field, it is about the time to see the king, to make a report to the king. And then, well, why that mean this? Because it is around early March or end of February. You will see Spica and Arcturus rising up in the sky, just on the horizon, start to appear on the horizon after sunset. So in the early springtime, these two stars appear on the horizon. So it's the time you make your move to tell the king spring is near. Then we need to tell our farmer to polish their plow, to prepare their tool, ready to go to work. This is astrologers' work I think in all around the world in the ancient time. Astrologer make a calendar. Astrologer tell king and queen, it's about springtime. We need to prepare. We need to call people to work or something. So Well, so this star has a kind of initiated energy, but also, well, plow again, it's about the farming things. But in the divination part, they see this part as a pillar. It's a huge column of the sky. It's because it's a large horn, so it's the support of the sky. It's also related to discipline. So it's kind of it's control, it's a rule, it's a regulation, it's discipline. And all the stars is related to king and his country. So we say if this star is shiny and bright, then disobey officer will be killed. But the people, but the peaceful for the world. Well, but and if you send army, follow the Arcturus line, you will win. Interesting,
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's very interesting. So let me draw this diagram. I always like to draw this type of diagram. So why is a huge horn? Well, here is Spica. Here's Spica. So for Chinese culture, this part of area from Spica to Libra constellation to Scorpio constellation and to the first part maybe bow, the bow part of the Sagittarius are belong to the dragon. Dragon, this is the seven mentioned the dragon. But we, as you saw the Christian's presentation, Spica right on the Virgo is Arcturus is here. So that's why the image, that's his big horn. That's his head, the horn on the head. So this is just try to help you remember how Chinese people see this part of sky. And finally, I know Christian like this, and I like this too, of course. Well, this is my recent work because at this moment, me and Christian, we both quite busy for the conference, and we just wind down a bit because we just finished our job, but important work now. So I want to share a photo I recently took, and Christian don't know about that, but he kind of guessed it because he say because he find a few misspelling in my presentation. He say, "Are you going to talk about the star in the Ara?" I say, "How do you know?" Because I keep spelling Arcturus. I said, "Ah, you got it." Yes. Well, this is the bright nebula in the south hemisphere and in the constellation called Ara. It is very interesting nebula because when you see it, you find that it looks like two monsters is fighting, or like Godzilla, or like in the sci-fi movie. So this is a dragon. We call it usually astronomer and astrophotographer. We call it dragon fight nebula or dragon on the Ara. So if you use the image, yes, you kind of see the dragon merge from the sky, and there is a light behind them. And then here has another dragon, maybe like a little bit like what Hydra-ish, there's so many head comes out. So it's like a dragon fight with a Hydra. It's a very interesting image. It's very interesting. And to be honest, since the first time I saw this nebula, I always say, I want to take their photo. I really want to take their photo. And that's why I spend the time to calculating and to take this photo. And I was so happy. I was so happy. And this is a beautiful, beautiful nebula to see. And then, I mean, well, it's not visible for our eye, so I will not use it in the astrological interpretation. I just use it for the maybe, could I say, artistic view? Just enjoy it.
It's a beautiful, beautiful area in the sky, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful picture you took, Rod. It's
Oh,
awesome. It's really awesome. Wow.
thank
We
you, Christian. Yeah, thank you.
thank you for sharing and showing us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, lovely. Well, and thank you, Christian, to be this part of a program. I couldn't do that without you. And then also thanks everyone for watching. And if you like, please subscribe and share. Tell people because I think more and more astrologer is talking about fixed stars, and you can really learn quite a lot. All right, I want to close today's program quickly because I saw Christian's head is on fire. the huge sunlight is on him now. So thanks everyone. See you next month. Bye bye.
Bye bye.